Assalamu alaikum ji. Respected Janab Mushahid Hussain Sayyid Sahab, Chairman on Defence Committee, DG Nima Ahmed Sayyid Sahab, respected participants and distinguished guests. It is an honor to be invited to this August forum and share my views on ship recycling and practices. Just a brief on the history of ship recycling in Pakistan, the first country in the subcontinent and second to Taiwan in the world. This business commenced in the early 70s at the NMB Wharf at the entrance to the Karachi Port East Wharf. It was the first country, at entrance to the East Wharf. It subsequently shifted to Gadani in the mid 70s. Some of the yards which were not operating became functional in the last 10 years with the removal of rocks near the beach. There is a potential to develop more such yards and at the same time look for other suitable sites in Sindh, Balochistan. The level of water is deep in Gadani, so the ships are not required to wait for the beaching, unlike in the other countries. It is a low tide beach with a tide level of 3.2 meters. As scrap from ship recycling was the main source of supply for the re-rolling industry and remelting furnaces, close to 250 ships used to be imported annually in the mid 70s. In 1982, Pakistan Steel came into production. A sizable share of raw materials scrap from shipbreaking was taken over by the mills, producing steel billet for the re-rolling mills. Pakistan Steel stopped production in the early 2000. Presently, the source of raw material for steel bars are the automatic plants producing grade 60 steel bars, whereas shipbreaking providing about 15 to 20% of the steel requirement in the form of re-rollable and remeltable scrap. Basic raw material for steel re-rolling and steel furnaces and cottage industries / production of wire rods. And with no consumption of electricity, potable water, natural gas or any other source of concern, as these are already under pressure in the country. We save millions of dollars in foreign exchange, which would otherwise get consumed in direct import of scrap, which we are providing to the local industries at competitive prices, despite value addition costs incurred in the process of ship recycling. Shipbreaking commenced at Alang in India in 1983, whereas in Bangladesh in the 2000. Ali Agha in Turkey, mostly smaller ships from nearby in Europe are broken. Already 6 of the yards at Ali Agha are EU certified. So these are destinations for EU flagged vessels. China is not into shipbreaking for last many years. Ship recycling by Chinese owners used to be subsidized by the government at one time. The Chinese yards at Shanghai I visited had shipbuilding, ship repairing and ship recycling within a common boundary. We should aim for similar setups at suitable locations, be it Gadani, Gwadar or any other suitable site in the coastal area of Sindh or Balochistan, as there is immense potential for expansion of maritime industry which should be capitalized, and ship recycling is one of the important segment of the maritime industry. The yards at Gadani are ISO certified, whereas more than 70% of the yards in India are HKC compliant. In Bangladesh, only a couple of yards are green. Now, the way forward is ratification of the HKC, Hong Kong Convention, for which we have the support of Ministry of Maritime Affairs initiative on HKC, the Ministry of Climate Change, the Balochistan Development Authority, and the environmental departments. The research report prepared by the dedicated team from NEMA, when Vice Admiral Abdul Aleem was the DG, on shipping, tourism, and ship recycling, covers all aspects of ship recycling, such as occupational health and safety, hazardous waste, and environmental requirements, including EU ship recycling regulations. HKC is finalized through inclusion of all the conditions, suggestions, and reservations for the Basel Convention and International Labour Organization. Certain basic requirements like provision of landfills for the waste disposal by the BDA, the incinerators, have yet to be met, besides issues with the landlords owning the yards. Civil work has to be carried out at the yard. However, in some cases, it is not possible to do so. HKC requires impermeable flooring, huge cranes of over 40 tons capacity, and other requirements, which involves substantial investment, but are essential for the adoption of this convention, which was introduced by IMO in 2009 for the safe and sound recycling of ships. It covers the design, construction, operation, and preparation of ships to facilitate sustainable ship recycling, preparation of inventory of hazardous material on the vessels that are sold for recycling. The requirements of HKC may be seen here. The chart prepared by class NK and covers requirements for ships throughout its operational life. Ship recycling was doing well last many years. Data of imports is shown here on the slide. As you are aware, after June 2022, various factors have contributed to almost a standstill position for our industry, as only 9 ships weighing about 45,000 were imported compared to the corresponding period in the previous year. Tax generated from only one VLCC tanker alone recycled is nowadays about over ₹1 billion due to high price of ships and US dollar exchange rate. Major reason being the unprecedented fall in Pakistan rupees. It is about 273 in the interbank today. There is increasing the cost of conversion and taking price of tor bar to a very high level of over ₹250,000, which is not affordable for the common man. The low-cost housing sector, who are the main consumers of tor bar produced from ship recycling. At site LCs are not possible. The alternate is usance LCs for 90 to 180 days DA, if these can be opened at least. Maybe some quota is fixed for LCs of ships for breaking, so at least a beginning may be initiated. In this regard, Chairman PSBA Mr. Diwan has placed this proposal before Governor State Bank of Pakistan. The yard numbering 132, among these up to 100 yards, these are owned by the local landlords, and 32 yards are owned by the Balochistan Development Authority, who recovers tonnage fee on all ships that are beached. Additionally, there is infrastructure cess imposed by the Balochistan Revenue Authority, which obviously amounts to double jeopardy and is a burden on this industry. We are blessed with an excellent location and infrastructure, with size of the yards about 4 acres, surpasses the sizes of the yards in the subcontinent. The time taken for dismantling a ship is much less compared to ship-breaking locations elsewhere. Hopefully, with resumption of demand and stabilization of the economy, we can exceed the 1.6 million tons broken in 2017-18 and continue to provide Lloyd's-tested raw material to the re-rolling mills, besides providing employment to the over 25,000 workers directly when the industry is working on optimum level, lakhs of people indirectly, and contribute millions to the national exchequer. 16 billion was paid in the year 2017-18. As dry bulk freight rates have fallen, which used to be exceedingly high, so also for the containerized cargo. So nowadays, it's a good opportunity to import these vessels at a lesser price. because tankers are not available due to the substantial increase in the freight for oil. Let us hope the economic situation is normalized so ships for recycling is resumed, HKC is ratified, our yards become green, as we are losing good percentage of potential candidates to the green yards. Revival of Gadani is vital to the economy, particularly Balochistan province and downstream industries depending on it, including transport sector, oxygen plants, hotels, scrap markets all over the Pakistan. We are also looking forward to the commencement of Pakistan's single window operation for clearance of ships. So all NOCs are streamlined into one window and precious time curtailed. Okay. We hope the 10th Maritime Conference, a segment of PIMEC, will promote green ship recycling and we are able to overcome the numerous challenges posed by the downslide of economy and falling reserves due to the circular debts. There is a chart on requirements of Hong Kong Convention. It shows the construction, operation, preparation for recycling and mentions about the ship recycling facility plan and the development of ship recycling plan SRP. It has been prepared by NK Class, which is one of the leading classification societies who is working on certification of these yards in the other countries. Some pictures of the ships arriving at outer anchorage where these are inspected by Pakistan Maritime and Environmental Protection Agency and thereafter proceed for beaching. There are a few pictures of the yards and the facilities for the workers and for the safety. These are tanker ships, bulker dry cargo, and passenger vessels. This is the inside of a passenger vessel. This one had 1,400 passengers and 600 crew. One of the largest which has come here. This is the second one. These are the picture of yards showing the water tanks and other safety requirements, the tower for the firefighting, the containers for the hazardous material, and so on and so forth. The winches which are used for pulling the vessel when it comes near to the beaching yard. The impermeable flooring, as you see, this is the requirement of the HKC, the ambulance, the hospital, the fire extinguishers with reserve. These are the cranes we have, but we need bigger cranes, much bigger cranes for HKC, like they have in China and other places. This is the picture of the office, the labor quarters. This is the foam water tank. Foam is used for the firefighting. This is the supply of oxygen for the gas cutting.
Thank you, Mr. Javed Iqbal,
You,
for
sir.
this expose on Gadani ship breaking yard.